Is this it? Do we finally get to the bottom line of what's going on with those Toyota Tundra engines, the V35A, the ones that have been failing, the ones that have been replacing? They replaced 77,000 of these engines already. So do we finally have the answer? Do we finally know what's happening to those trucks? I think we might actually have it. Hey, it's Tim. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. There's a defect information report that just came out. I just got an email just, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. It's on NHTSA.gov. But let's go over there because I have it right here. We're going to put it on the screen. Let's talk about what's going on in this report. You can see Toyota official letterhead, May 20th, 2026. I didn't see this. I got an email to me, and I was like, wow, look at this. Here it is. What's interesting about this report is when you get into the details. Let me see if I can blow this in the screen a little bit more. Zoom in a little bit so we can all, even though it's wearing glasses in the back, you can see this in your screen because, yeah, I have to wear glasses these days. So we're talking about Toyota Motor Manufacturing, talking about the manufacturing facility in Alabama. That's interesting because remember the initial recall was from two factories, Alabama and Japan. Now we're talking about just Alabama. They're talking about this latest recall. This is the 2024 one that impacts February 7th, 2024 through August 5th, 2024. So this is the newest one they came out with. This came out just last week, but I hadn't seen this defect information report before. And so they're talking about which ones infected, the part number to block assembly. Okay. They're talking about how they're not all sold in the United States. That's something brought up the other day. They're importing these in Australia now. So this truck's going to live on a long period of time. And they're producing this in the United States, shipping them elsewhere. So recalls impacting all those. This is the 42,566. So many trucks impacted. So that, again, the percentage, people keep bringing up this one number. It doesn't mean anything. They can't estimate the percentage involved. All right, so let's talk description of the problem. We've talked about this many times, but let's go through it one more time. The subject vehicles are equipped with a specific V35A engine that contains crankshaft main bearings, which allows the crankshaft to rotate within the engine assembly while running. During a specific production period, there was a possibility that engine machining debris of a particular size and amount may not have been cleared from the engine during manufacturing, and that contaminated the engine during the production process. We talked about this before, I think it was several months ago, that they didn't get all the debris out. They actually talked about different sizes of debris. Pretty detailed report. For those engines and the subject vehicles, the pressure on a main bearing due to the engine configuration is such that if the machining debris adheres to that bearing, operation of the engine continues at higher loads over time, failure of the bearing may occur. And there is said something about crankshaft has tabs to keep it in place. They don't use that. Toyota hasn't used that for years. So that's not a thing for them. Or a bearing tab. No, it was crankshaft tabs. So they said this can lead to potential engine knocking, engine rough running, engine no start, or engine stall. And the subject vehicles, engine stall while driving, leads to lost motive power. So yeah, it stalls, you can't move forward. A vehicle lost motive power while driving higher speeds can increase the risk of a crash. Well, yeah, no kidding. So this is the greatest thing I found in the last couple of years. Chronology of principal events. This is like murder mystery stuff. I love this thing. Sorry, I get kind of geeked out about chronology stuff. So November 20th of 2025 to February 2026. So they had filing a recall of that one 2025. That was for the expansion of the previous one, before the previous one. So this is like the third recall. Toyota continued to investigate certain vehicles with that engine produced at the Alabama manufacturing plant with improved manufacturing processes. Remember, they changed manufacturing processes. They're trying to get rid of this debris. And other changes built after those involved in that recall. They continue to investigate the effects of one of these changes, a cam housing clearance change on bearing pressure. So they made a change to the engine. They made a bearing a clearance change. They created more room so the debris wouldn't build up. So they did make a change. And together with the supplier, also studied the progression of bearing wear from engines in the field. To do this, both non-failed engines and engines with the alleged number one main bearing failure were collected, torn down, and had the bearing sent to the supplier for analysis. The number one main bearing, you'll hear this more and more, it's like clue, it's like the murder weapon. Concerning the study of the cam housing clearance changes, in February 2026, it was found there was a stack up of bearing pressure based on variables that included timing chain tension and engine loading scenarios. But this pressure stack up could not make the difference between his engines produced during the period under study from the engines previously recalled. So they didn't find anything there when they did the stack up of the bearing pressures based on the variables. So the pressure couldn't make those engines doing differently. But they also, in addition to collecting, tearing down, analyzing bearings from the engines in the field, Toyota and the supplier performed bench testing on the number one main bearing. There it is again. The number one main bearings were without wear from the period under study. The bench testing applied a specific pressure to the bearing to simulate engine loading as debris of a specific shape and size that were representative of debris found in engines produced during the period under study. So they did bench testing. They put debris in there with the new and robust number one main bearings. I get that from a prior recall report I did months ago. They used that verbiage for the number one main bearings. They put the pressure in that as far as bench testing, and they ran that through the study, and they introduced that into the bearing in increasing quantities. In late April 2026, Toyota and the supplier completed the bench testing and determined that if a piece of debris of sufficient size is introduced on the bearings and introduced additional pieces was not a significant factor on the fatigue strength of the bearings produced during the period under study. So let's go through that one more time. So they ran these studies and they figured out in late April 2026 that if they determined that if they had debris in the engine with that improved number one bearing, and that they had a piece of sufficient size introduced on that bearing, introducing additional pieces was not a significant factor on the fatigue strength of the bearings. So adding more debris didn't fatigue the bearings. So that wouldn't lead to more catastrophic engine failure. In late 2026, Toyota and the supplier completed the bench testing and determined that if a piece of debris of sufficient size is introduced onto the bearing, then you can introduce additional pieces, and that was not a significant factor on the fatigue strength of the bearings produced during the period under study. So they tested this. It added additional pressure to simulate engine load. They added more debris, and there was no fatigue on the bearings. So the bearings held up. So the engines didn't fail, even with more debris than what they'd been finding in those other engines. That's the way I read that. In early May 2026, Toyota and supplier completed the engine collection teardown analysis of number one main bearings from the field. The results of the bearing analysis showed that the bearings produced during the period under study contained the same wear pattern that was observed on the bearings produced in the periods covered by the recalls. Okay? So the results of the bearing analysis showed that bearings produced same stuff. Okay, so based on the results above investigation, to determine that during a specific production period of those recalls, but before the information of the certain improvements to one bearing, there's a possibility that engine machining debris of a particular size and amount may not have been cleared from the engine during manufacturing and can cause the issue described in Section 5 to cover. So they determined that if these engines and those recalls were failing, it was because they hadn't done the new improvements to number one main bearing. Those engines had the debris that fatigued the number one main bearing to the point the engine failed. So as long as, and that's the way I read this, as long as you have an engine that has the new improved number one main bearing, that you shouldn't have a problem. Which, by the way, Toyota PR let me know, those 77,000 engines that they replaced, go big screen for a minute, those 77,000 replacement engines out of 105,000, whatever they've recalled, those have the improved number one main bearing. So if you have a replacement engine, you are good according to this analysis and how Toyota and the supplier had worked together to do that, according to this document. Okay, let's go back to the document. Now, and it says, thus Toyota has decided to conduct a voluntary safety recall for the above described vehicle production period to catch those engines that didn't have the number one main bearing in them, the improved number one main bearing. And so they did some diligent review of records best engineering judgment. They found there are 30 total field technical reports, 30 to 60 warranty claims in the subject vehicle. So they recalled 43,000 trucks to replace the engines based on 30 field reports and 360 warranty claims. That's what they've done. So the corrective action is going to be, be informed. You're going to be contacted further, available about the remedy. I don't understand why they haven't announced what the remedy is going to be, because it seems like the remedy is going to be a new engine. That's the only thing I'm a little unclear about. Why haven't they announced the remedy? But that's what it looks like it's come down to, is that the interim remedy is not out yet. They're going to notify the owners by July 20th, 2026, and that's what they have. So it is interesting to think that that's what's going on. And as you recall, I have one. I think this one is the new improved main bearing. And I tried to send this up for analysis, but the person ghosted me. But yeah, they look the same. And unless I can do a metal lab and have those analyzed, I can't tell you what the difference is. But apparently this bearing is the improved bearing. So as long as you have had your engine replaced, or it was built after those dates I told you on the screen there, recall report, you should have the improved number one main bearing. So even if there is any sort of debris in the manufacturing process, it shouldn't fatigue the main bearing. And that's called swarf, is a term I've learned in this process the last year or two. And it's actually fairly common to have swarf in engines. We learned this as well. There was an article on autonews.com that talked to people like Dave's Auto Center, a big YouTube channel, and people in engine manufacturing and people to teach engine design, that because of lighter weight oils, that the lighter weight oils aren't necessarily moving manufacturing debris out of the engines like they used to. It's not heavy enough to move. It's like, think of a stream, that we don't have a big enough flow of heavy oils to move that stuff out. Because typically what happens is that stuff goes into the oil filter and gets filtered out. But that's not happening. So that's the whole story. As far as I know, in my, year and a half, 2 years of reporting on this and putting together all the different pieces of all these different stories, and that's what's happening, is that, yes, we've gone to lighter weight oils. Yes, you can argue all you want about that. Yes, it's caused a variety of different things happening. Yes, there's debris in engines. Yes, that's causing some problems. Yes, the number one main bearing seems like that's what Toyota's fix is for that. Yes, you can argue the design flaw. You argue in the comments all you want. But it seems like the bottom line from Toyota is that as long as you have a truck with the number one main bearing that's been replaced, or your engine's been replaced, and it's built after those dates, you should be okay. And unless I hear of a number of engines failing, I know we have the 2025 model that I've talked to the guy on the forum about as well. I haven't heard anything number-wise after that had been big numbers. I haven't heard a lot of recalled engines that have been fixed, that have been failing. Unless we hear a lot more noise about 25s and 26s and recalled engines failing, I'm hoping we can put this issue to bed. Would that be great? Just put this issue to bed and be done. Because I'm sure something else will pop up. All right, more stuff that pops up. Right over here, more videos. No, it's this way, whatever that way. I'm gonna eat lunch now. So check out our website at pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road. Hopefully, while you're driving, not like on the side of the road. No, driving down the road. That's the key.